George R. R. Martin seems not only weirdly out of touch with reality, but his own inability to finish his work is a problem. And hi, I'm Will, I'm the Bald Book Geek. Like, sub, and do your usual. But what I'm going to say, as someone is as someone who is a creative, as someone who knows writers, someone who does all of this stuff, I have to put this one out there. It's frustrating because we're what? How many? What, over a decade now? We're what? Close to a. We've got some time under our belts with this one. And it's frustrating because there's so many great books that he's churned out, but they all seem very, very stunted and very like he's doing everything else. He's doing everything else to get this book out than to write a book, than to do anything, and it's just it's frustrating, and I can't really give any constructive thing on this, and I get that things take time, but this book's like 1,500 pages or something, apparently. And I mean, 1,500 pages. Who is your editor? Like, George suffers from what I call creative's ego, and people compare him to Tolkien. He's not Tolkien. He doesn't have that level of storytelling. It's a very good world builder, but he's not Tolkien. You can't really compare them either because they're different genres of fantasy. But his sort of disdain for Tolkien gets on my nerves. His inability to create this novel gets on my nerves because he seems to be focusing on everything but the book. And I get it, TV and all of this. I would have a lot more respect if he just said, I'm genuinely quite bored with it, or I feel like I'm done with it. Maybe he doesn't want the story to end. Maybe he doesn't want to part with that story and those events because, we've got this book, but then there's another book, the Dawn of Spring or the Dance of Spring, whatever it's called. Like, can we just say that, you're 75 years old, George? Can we say that you're not getting any younger, and we might end up in a situation where someone else finishes your work? There is no if, buts, and maybes to that. We might end up in that situation. We might end up in a situation where your final opus never gets published, or it gets published in an incomplete notes form, and this and that. He also seems out of touch with his relationship to the internet, because I'm going to put this one out there, is that the conversation about failure and about things flopping and things not doing well that everyone moans about on Twitter has been going on since message boards were a thing. Before then, like it's just in a public forum now rather than on a different, more private, condensed forums. It's just this has been going on for years, and George seems to either be deflecting what he's doing, which is really annoying, or he's just incapable. And I would have a lot more respect if he just said, I don't know how to finish this book, or I've written myself into a hole, or this book may never actually come out. I wish he would just say that. I wish he would just say that and be honest with the audience, because I feel like, how many tentative release dates have we had? How many almost releases? How many almosts have we had? And it's just not happening. It's not being a thing. It's not coming out. We've got countless discussions on why it's not come out. We've got a whole list of things, and like, dude, just finish your goddamn book. Like, I'm sick of the whining. And the thing is, and I say this, there will be pushback for his inability to finish this book. There are going to be people who are not happy about it. And that's perfectly reasonable. And it's just, I find it frustrating as a reader because we want those books out. And I'm at the point where I'm probably not going to buy them because I'm over it and I don't really want to give him money, and there are other ways to read books. But, it does feel like, well, this is what you're going to get. Be thankful, peasants. I wish he was just honest. I wish he would just say it. And I wish maybe he needs to bring someone else in. Maybe he's incapable of writing this book. Maybe, and let's be real, maybe maybe it's done. Maybe this whole story, this whole everything is basically done. And that's where we sit now. Like, I'm a creative. I know the pains of this stuff. I know the frustration that it can bring. And it's annoying because I do understand. But it just feels like this is endless. And it's going to be endless. And it's going to be just a churn out of this content and a churn out of notes, if, buts, maybes, moaning that people are mean to him, moaning that the book isn't going to happen. It's just endless at this point, and I'm done with it. Like, as a reader, I just want the end of the story. And I know it sounds cold, but I want the end of the story. That's it. I just want that ending. And I don't think we're going to get it. Not within his lifetime. Not within anything like that. I think I will be shocked. I will eat my words if this actually comes out, by the way. I will utterly eat my words. But will it come out? Will it even come out? Will we ever get the end of this sort of endless book? And at 1,500 pages, apparently, that's a huge thing. And it's just, I sit here in bewilderment. Like, I tried to write a script for this video, and everything just came across as ranty and annoying, so I'm just going in with my thoughts. Because I am done with this. I'm absolutely done as a reader. We're never going to get the end of the story. We're never going to see that happen. And again, if I'm wrong, I'll eat my words. But I don't think I am. I don't think I'm wrong. I think we're not going to see the end of this. Because it's what it is now. And it's frustrating. I want to know the end. I want to know where these characters go. I want to know where it happens. And we'll probably get this book, but how many years before the next book? I started reading these books as a teenager. Like, that's a thing. I started reading these books as a teenager. And I was in my 20s when this one was being promised. And this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. So far, it hasn't happened. So, can we just say that it may never happen at all? Like, and my whole thing is, and I completely respect him in a creative sense, because I know what it's like. I've been procrastinating for years, and I hold my hands up and say, I've been procrastinating for years. But this is, I think this is beyond a joke, and I just feel like George at this point doesn't really care about what he's creating anymore. He's done with it. He's had enough. And that's what I think. That's my personal belief. I think he's had enough of it. He's done with it. He's written himself into a hole. And maybe the situation with the end of the series of Game of Thrones is what's causing the problem now. Maybe that was the original ending. I don't know. I don't actually know at this point, because I just feel like we're going to be pushing water with him, and like I said, he's not getting any younger. He's not. I mean, 75 in the big scheme of things is, you know, what's next? That's my only thing right now. What's next? What will happen? How will it happen? And will we get this book and then wait another 20 years? Oh, wait, in 20 years he'll be 95, 60, 70, 76, 80, 90. He'll be 95 years old. And in 20 years I'm going to be... Oh, we're not going to talk about that one. But it's just weird. And I just want the end of the story. I'm sick of side stories. I'm sick of lore books. I'm sick of short story compilations. Just put this out and get it done. Because I think we're all kind of bored with it. Let's be real. So, I know that seemed a little bit downery, but I'm being honest. So like, sub, do the usual. And I'll if these two books happen within the next few years, I'll eat my words, but I don't think they will at this point. And I'm sick of just endless release dates and teasing rather than actually doing the goddamn book. So, talk to you guys later, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.